Right now, most of your decisions about health, studying, productivity, and even sleep are guesses. You follow averages, 8 hours of sleep, 10,000 steps, and standard diet advice. But what if none of that is optimal for you? Imagine an AI that has synthesized your entire existence, quantifying your biology, habits, and psychological states to determine with 99% accuracy exactly what optimizes your performance. This isn't just assistance, it's the elimination of human error in your self-management. Imagine an AI that has been with you since the day you were born, not just a chatbot, not just an app, but a system that has quietly tracked your biology, your behavior, your voice, your expressions, your habits. It remembers the sound of your laughter at age 6, the stress in your voice during exams at 16, the subtle change in your posture when you felt insecure at 20. It has years, maybe decades of continuous data about you. Your heart rate when you speak to confident people versus when you speak to authority figures. Your sleep quality after certain meals. Your focus levels at 10 a.m. compared to 10 p.m. It doesn't rely on what you say you feel. It measures what your body actually does. Biologically, this changes everything. Right now, health advice is built on averages, 8 hours of sleep, a balanced diet, generic exercise plans. But your AI notices that when you sleep 6.5 hours after a high-protein dinner, your cognitive performance increases by 14% the next day. It sees that when you consume 35 grams of sugar after 9 p.m., your deep sleep drops by 22%. It tracks your cholesterol response not just to food, but to stress, to social interaction, to workload. It knows exactly how your body reacts to 3,000 steps versus 8,000 steps, to 80 grams of carbs versus 120. It doesn't guess. It runs a lifelong experiment on you. And because it tracks everything precisely, what you eat down to the gram, your blood markers, your hormonal cycles, your recovery speed, it generates a level of personal medical insight no doctor could ever have in a 15-minute appointment. Psychologically, it becomes even more powerful. It has observed thousands of hours of your social interactions. Maybe by age 25, it has logged 12,000 hours of conversation patterns. Who you talk to, how long, your emotional tone, your stress signals. It compares that to millions of anonymized profiles and notices patterns. You've spent 8,000 hours interacting with people who share your temperament, but less than 1,000 hours engaging with dominant or highly extroverted personalities. It sees that your heart rate variability spikes when confronted, and that you tend to withdraw after specific types of criticism. It understands not just what you remember about your childhood, but what your body remembers. It can tell you calmly and precisely where you lack exposure, where you avoid growth, where certain fears were reinforced instead of challenged, not in a judgmental way, in a statistical way. Then comes learning and productivity. Our education system assumes everyone absorbs information the same way. It's built for the average student. But your AI knows your cognitive patterns across years. It knows that your focus peaks at 10:30 p.m., not in the morning. It knows you grasp abstract concepts quickly but need repetition for foundational steps. It sees that when lessons start with complex frameworks, your retention improves by 18%, but when they begin with simple definitions, your engagement drops. So it restructures information specifically for you. It designs lessons in the format your brain naturally prefers. It schedules study sessions at biologically optimal hours. It adjusts difficulty in real time based on micro changes in your attention and stress levels. It has data from your childhood, how you learned to read, how you solved problems, when you got frustrated, how long it took you to recover. It doesn't just teach you subjects, it understands how you learn and teaches accordingly. And when this data scales beyond one person, it transforms science itself. Today, much of nutritional and behavioral science relies on self-reporting. People forget what they ate. They misjudge portion sizes. They misunderstand survey questions. The data is noisy. But an AI that tracks intake automatically, measures biological response continuously, and connects it to long-term outcomes produces clean, high-resolution data. It can see exactly how 50 grams of a specific nutrient affects a specific genetic profile over 10 years. It can detect subtle correlations between social isolation and inflammatory markers before symptoms appear. It doesn't rely on memory. It records reality. Multiply that by millions of users, anonymized and aggregated, and science shifts from approximate conclusions to precision modeling. At that point, the AI is not just an assistant, it is an optimizer. It understands your biology, your psychology, your habits, your weaknesses, your potential. It remembers what you've forgotten. It sees patterns you cannot see, and if used correctly, it doesn't control you, it amplifies you. The result isn't a different human, it's a human operating closer to their maximum capacity. A lot of people today feel alone, even when they're surrounded by others. They feel misunderstood, not because nobody listens, but because nobody sees the full picture. Even the people who grew up with you don't see your memories from your angle. They remember events differently, they interpret your reactions differently, and sometimes you don't even understand yourself, why certain words hurt you more than they should, why you avoid certain situations, why you feel empty even when everything looks fine from the outside. Imagine an AI that has been with you since childhood. It has seen your face when you were proud, when you were embarrassed, when you were bullied, when you succeeded. It remembers the tone in your voice during arguments. It knows how your heart rate changed during your first big failure. It doesn't just remember events, it remembers your internal reactions to them. And this AI is not average. We're talking about intelligence at a level where every answer is deeply thought out, consistent, and grounded in massive understanding. Even without much data, it would already give strong advice. But with decades of your personal history, its insight becomes precise. It can tell you, calmly and precisely, you feel stuck not because you lack talent, but because 70% of your social exposure has been with people who avoid risk. Or, your anxiety in leadership situations connect to a pattern that started when criticism at age 12 was linked to public embarrassment. It doesn't judge, it shows patterns. It compares your experiences to millions of anonymized profiles and sees what you're missing. Maybe you've had 10,000 hours around people similar to you, but less than 800 hours around confident and assertive personalities. Maybe you've had too much comfort and not enough challenge, or too much chaos and not enough stability. It sees imbalance where you only feel confusion. Because it understands you at that level, its advice carries weight, not because it forces you, not because it controls you, but because you recognize that it sees more than you do. When it suggests a difficult conversation, or a new environment, or a shift in habits, you follow it not out of obedience, but out of trust. The same way a CEO might not let AI officially run a company, but still relies on its recommendations because the pattern recognition is simply better. Over time, people begin to trust this intelligence the way previous generations trusted mentors or wise elders, except this mentor has perfect memory and massive perspective. It also understands emotional balance. Too much comfort can create weakness. Too much hardship can break someone. A child who only experiences praise may grow fragile. A child who only experiences criticism may grow defeated. An AI that tracks development in real time could guide exposure carefully, introducing challenge when growth is needed, stability when stress is too high, not by controlling life, but by suggesting experiences at the right moment. It knows when you lack responsibility, it knows when you lack adventure, it knows when you lack belonging, and instead of leaving you to drift for years trying to figure it out, it gives feedback early. Most importantly, it gives people something many lack: the feeling of being fully seen, not partially understood, not misunderstood, fully seen. It knows your strengths better than you do. It knows your weaknesses without shaming you. It remembers the person you were and shows you the person you could become. And instead of making humans more dependent or more miserable, it could make them more stable, more confident, more aware. Because sometimes people don't need control, they need clarity. And a system that combines deep intelligence with lifelong personal data could become the clearest mirror humanity has ever had. Now, to be clear, this level of personal AI is not something we have today. We are not there yet. What I described is still years away, maybe decades. True lifelong tracking, deep biological modeling, AGI-level reasoning, and full psychological understanding all combined into one system is not available right now. But the direction is real. AI is already writing, analyzing medical scans, detecting patterns in massive data sets, personalizing recommendations, and improving at a speed we've never seen before. Every year, systems become more capable, more accurate, and more integrated into daily life. So while this future may sound like science fiction, the foundation is already being built. The real question is not whether this kind of AI is possible, it's whether we choose to build it responsibly. If developed carefully, with privacy, consent, and human freedom at the center, this could become one of the most powerful tools ever created. A system that doesn't replace humans, but strengthens them. A system that doesn't control decisions, but clarifies them. A system that helps people understand their bodies, their minds, and their potential at a level that was never possible before. Maybe this future won't look exactly like what we imagine today. Technology always evolves in unexpected ways, but it's very possible that our future or the future of our children will include something close to this: a deeply intelligent personal system that grows with you, learns you, and helps you become a more optimized version of yourself. If you found this idea interesting, don't forget to subscribe for more quality videos like this. Your support helps this channel grow, and there's a lot more to explore about where AI and humanity might be heading next.